TSN. Welcome as we get this week started.
If you didn't know, now you know.
Kessler's got it, and Kessler.
Wago's not always downhill, Chris.
It's all touchdown, Terrell Walker.
Eskies fans out in full force outside Commonwealth Stadium, looking to see their team get back in the win column after a very difficult loss to Hamilton last week. Hey, the Bombers have suffered a lot of losses so far. Matt Nichols, quarterback change in for the struggling Drew Willie up against his old team.
Mike Riley in his 7th year as a pro and leads the league in passing, 1,580 yards. Can't wait to see him light it up against a very tough Winnipeg defense.
Picking it tough, clutch, game changer, difference maker. That kid's from Oklahoma State. He's a cowboy. That's a Darius Bowman to make it happen again tonight.
Big passing attack by the Eskimos, and they were really had it on display in the first half before falling apart against Hamilton in the second half and losing a 25-point lead in that ball game. Back at it tonight against Winnipeg. Welcome. Thursday Night Football presented by the Brick. Rod Smith along with Jock Climby and Matt Dunnigan. Well, that's the headliner, Matty, that quarterback change by Winnipeg. What are you watching for in this game tonight?
Well, obviously, I think one of Drew Willie's alibis is lack of protection. You know, is Matt Nichols going to be afforded that same lack of protection that Drew Willie's been enjoying the last 2.5 years? I think you got to protect him, really. And I really think that Edmonton's defensive line is motivated because they didn't get any pressure on Mazzoli last week, made him look like a world beater.
I think that pressure on the quarterback is really what this game's going to be about because, Edmonton has not done that well this year, and I think Matt Nichols has a real opportunity against a defense that doesn't get after the quarterback. But I wonder, scheme-wise, it's more about getting the ball out of their hands quickly. And Mike Rilla does that really well. And I think against the Winnipeg defense secondary, that's beat up, right? Ooh. Lots of guys missing out of that secondary. It could get ugly. Yeah. Only because of those injuries. I mean, I think Winnipeg plays tough defense, but with those guys out of the lineup, this thing
Chris Randall, Macho Harris not playing tonight as well?
Macho Harris is a huge loss, I think, and so is Randall. So how quickly can they get the ball out of the quarterback's hand, I think, is the key for Winnipeg, and then can they get after the quarterback, that Edmonton Eskimo defense?
I'm stinging if I'm the Edmonton Eskimos. You know, I'm still in disbelief, and the only way to right that wrong is to go out there and put a beat down on somebody, and it happens to be the Winnipeg Blue Bombers up next at the Brick at Commonwealth, and I really expect this football team to come out and try to send a message. Yeah, they are.
That's embarrassing. I can tell you as a player to be up that much and to now be in the record books as a team that lost that kind of football game, that sits in your gut all week long.
I wonder if Matt Nichols never got a Grey Cup ring, understandably, but he did take part in a lot of games with the Eskimos. He was 5-2 as a starter, starting against them tonight at Commonwealth. Suitor.
Thanks, Rod. Under a threatening sky here tonight in the Alberta capital. Second meeting in 14 days with both teams coming off losses last week. It's the 1-4 Bombers and the 2-2 Eskimos at the Brick Field.
For Winnipeg, 29-year-old Matt Nichols gets the tonight. The former Eskimo is 7-12 as a starter in his career. Played his college ball at Eastern Washington and will face a former teammate tonight and good friend off the field in middle linebacker J.C. Sherritt. Sherritt leads a defense that is about as angry as that black sky is tonight here in Edmonton after giving up a 25-point lead last week in the loss to the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, Jason Moss's Eskimos beat the Bombers 20-16 2 weeks ago, but stinging from what is the worst loss in Eskimo history here on this turf last week. Mike O'Shea looks to snap a 2-game losing streak and trying to win his first ever game against Edmonton as a head coach. Bombers have won one of their last 17 visits to Alberta. Their last victory here at Commonwealth 10 years ago on the Milk Miracle. So Grant Shaw gets set to kick it off. And again, a threat of a storm looming here. We had a dandy here yesterday in between the two walkthroughs, shot a boot, and here we go. It'll go over the head of Pascal Lochard, and it will roll out, so Winnipeg will scrimmage at the 25-yard line.
There is Matt Nichols. He's an Edmonton Eskimo. The former Esk is 5-7 as a starter in Winnipeg. 2-5. Drew Willie, good numbers. Passing yards up there, completion percentage. The one column not good enough, the win-loss at 1-4. It's time for a shake-up. Michael O'Shea pulled the trigger, and it'll be Matt Nichols against his former teammates.
So they'll march it back to the 25 because the ball went out of bounds in the end zone. So longer field than Matt Nichols would have liked. Again, a touchdown and a 2-point convert the first time he came onto the field last week in relief. And swings it out. A completion to Kollert. The flag on the play. Rory Kollert with a touchdown catch in the last meeting against the Eskimos. And this penalty against Edmonton.
Offside. Edmonton, number 91. That penalty's declined. First down.
Play was bigger than the penalty, so Rory Collart's first catch of the night. Stay on the books.
Marcus Howard offside. First down up at the 36. 5 receivers set, and Andrew Harris up the middle, and Harris crashes beyond the 40-yard line, close to 6.
Harris leads all running backs catching the ball out of the backfield. The number one receiver in the core for tonight, Matt Nichols, will be Darvin Adams. He leads the team in receiving. A couple of changes. Jamarcus Hardrick bumps out to tackle. Patrick Neufeld is out due to injury, and his name is Bond. Travis Bond will move in at guard.
I call him Sir at 6'7", 356. Second down, a flag down, and there's Dressler. Had a dozen catches last week. His first here, galloping into Edmonton territory, down to the Eskimo 47. Let's find out if it stands. A 21-yard pickup with a flag down.
Yeah, concerted effort last week to get the ball in the hands of Weston Dressler. 12 catches. He's the second receiver this year for the Bombers, over 100 yards.
Edmonton, number 40. That penalty's declined. First down.
So a couple of early offsides against the Eskimos this time. Dion Lacey. So Bombers move into Edmonton territory. Again, it's Harris off the right side this time, and he's dropped down at the 40-yard line. 7 good first down run production for Andrew Harris once again.
And it's a defensive front four that number 2 in the league coming in against the run. So good start for Andrew Harris, but there's a linebacking core. J.C. Sherritt, friend and former teammate of Matt Nichols, back at Eastern Washington, and the secondary with Solomon Means in his second start on the wide side corner.
Defense gave up 4 second-half touchdowns last week. Trying to prevent early Bomber points here. Second down. Nichols going to stretch it. Got Dressler, and he has it down at the 1-yard line. Weston Dressler on 2nd and 3 goes 39 yards.
What a start for Matt Nichols. A couple of Edmonton penalties that they've declined because of offensive production in drive number 1. This is exactly what Matt Nichols needed to do to give his teammates the confidence in him. That ball was spotted on the outside shoulder of Weston Dressler, as good as you could throw.
Only 10 first quarter points for the Bombers all season long, but knocking at the door. First and goal. Nichols straight ahead. Does he break the plane? Not getting a signal yet. It'll be second down.
Not sure he did there. I saw Kenny Ladler jump in.
Boy, he got up right on the line, and he wants to know why no signal.
J.C. Sherritt right in the middle. Former teammates locking horns.
So they'll reboot, try it again. They'll try the left side this time. Clearly, no surge. It'll be third, and maybe a yard and a half. There's Winnipeg native Eddie Steele out of Kelvin High School in on the stop.
Boy, Steele shot the gap here and was in the backfield. Nichols tried to go off that left side. Look how quickly. First, Kenny Ladler from the linebacking core, and then Eddie Steele to help clean up, but they shot their gaps.
Shared over the top. Touchdowns have been tough to come by. Third, about a yard and a half. Andrew Harris, touchdown. Third time's the charm, and 33 into the end zone.
And a great start for Matt Nichols. Starts out with that short side throw to Rory Collard, and then he goes to Weston Dressler, gets him involved. Couple of catches by Dressler, finished it off with the touchdown from Andrew Harris. A little bit of patience there at the goal line for Harris. He just picks his way through that defensive line.
First rushing touchdown for Harris. 8 plays, 85 yards, and an impressive start for the former Eskimo quarterback. Headlock tries the convert. He'll put it through. Good start for the visitors here. Game not even 4 minutes old. And Harris hits Pater. Saving you more. Well, now, big start for the Bombers. First possession and a touchdown. 3 minutes, 57 seconds in.
And another shot to the solar plexus of the Edmonton defense. That's in their last 6 series now. They've given up 5 touchdowns and a field goal going back to the second half of that Hamilton game.
Kenzel Doe is deep. Big kick goes over his head. And Doe may put a knee down here. Does, concedes a single. And it's an 8-point Bomber lead before Mike Riley gets onto the field.
First series for Mike Riley, who's yet again looking for another 300-yard passing game. It would be his 8th straight. Over 1,500 yards passing, 10 touchdowns, and just 2 interceptions this season. Great first half last week, and then opened up the second half in the first series of the third quarter with a touchdown drive, and then did not get a point after that against the Ticats.
Pass for over 350 yards at each of his first 4 starts. Natea J was in motion, and a short hop intended for Bowman, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
And Bowman's the intended target most of the time. Tailbacks John White, Bowman and Darrell Walker, go-to guys in that receiving corps. And then up front, 1 change, well, 2 changes really. Simeon Rotier moves in for Justin Sorensen at center. Chris Greaves will play the guard.
Greaves, of course, the former Bomber. And Darius Bowen playing in his 100th CFL game and lit up the Bombers with 10 catches, 185. In their last start, there's veteran Bruce Johnson back in the secondary for the Bombers, and he makes a play to force 2 and out to open the game for the home side.
This secondary is going to have to lean on him in a big, big way. Number 25, Bruce Johnson's got all the experience back there, and after that, they get really young really quickly. This is a nice play on the reach around, coming around the shoulder of the intended target with a nice knockdown from the veteran in his 3rd season in the CFL.
So it's Grant Shaw with the line drive kick. 50-yard kick, and McDuffie looking for a crease and got it. Across midfield and dragged down around the 50-yard line. Blair Smith with a big tackle after a 35-yard return. So the Bombers off and running. Darvin Adams a deep threat, and Matt Nichols hoping to connect with him here tonight. Official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Well, a penalty will take back that big 35-yard McDuffie return.
Yeah, monster penalty, really. A difference in about 45 yards of field position. It looks like it was Justin Cole Number 93 with the holding.
Bombers start at their 15. There's Harris again getting outside and a run up to the 24. 9 yards, so Andrew Harris has had runs of 6, 7, and 9 on first down here tonight. That's much better production on the ground for the Bombers.
Yeah, getting a good push from that offensive line, and right now winning the line of scrimmage. That gives them that bubble to run in. That has been an issue running the ball, though he's been a great receiver out of the backfield.
Harris fourth on the ground so far this season, and he'll run for a first down up to the 29.
30 catches coming into this game for Andrew Harris. Those little extended runs, whether it be a swing pass out of the backfield, that leads all running backs in the Canadian Football League with 283 yards. Brandon Whitaker a ways back. It's 100 yards behind him, over 100 yards behind him.
Good start for Harris on the ground tonight. 5 carries, 28 yards. He's had 3 games with fewer yards than that on the ground. Another catch for Dressler up at the 35, and he has 5.
Right now, I think you've got to look at this Edmonton defense and say that they are struggling. They have a real confidence problem right now. Mike Benavides got a young group back there, especially in the secondary. He's trying to get them lined up right, give them different looks. Talk to him about last week's meltdown against Hamilton. He said he tried a lot of different style of defenses, zones, blitzes, but they just couldn't get that one play they needed.
2nd and 5, Nichols over the middle. A connection made there, and a first down to Jace Davis. Well, it's going to be close to a first down, and now Mike O'Shea has a decision. Going to mark it just under a yard short.
They just moved him
down.
Yep.
Excuse me. So consecutive first downs for the Bombers. Shy of the 40. Short drop. Nobody open, but he gets away. And now he's got Darvin Adams open. Adams got in behind Patrick Watkins, and Matt Nichols extends the play and makes a big play out of it. 34 yards.
Yeah, he's got to get away from the rush. Now, Odell Willis here is going to drop out of there, and he's going to take Andrew Harris in coverage. So Matt Nichols knows he's got man, but he's got pressure up the middle on this delayed blitz. He's got to make that guy miss. He does. And Darvin Adams does the right thing. Darvin Adams was an intermediate route, but as soon as his quarterback started to scramble like this and broke a tackle, then he turned his route up and do a deep route. And right down the sideline, Patrick Watkins got caught in between. He was not sure whether he should tackle Nichols or drop back.
Matt Nichols 7 for 7 out of the gate, 123 yards. And now on 2nd and 2, Harris straight ahead. And
Michael O'Shea said that this change was as much about just trying to provide a spark to this offense, and
got it.
He got it from these first 2 series. Just very efficient, more production on first down. That running the ball to Andrew Harris on first down has nothing to do with Drew Willie. But somehow this offense looks completely different and is firing off the ball in a big way.
Harris got the first down, so 1st and 10. Edmonton 27. Nichols play action to the wide side. Nobody there as he and Darvin Adams not on the same page, and that's the first incompletion of the game.
You know, Paul LaPolice, the offensive coordinator for Winnipeg, really wouldn't change much up. I mean, this is Matt Nichols and Drew Willie working the same offense through training camp, coming out of training camp in the preseason and then the regular season. So it's not like there's some new magical plays going on out here for the Bombers now. This is their first, second, and real long. Let's see how they do in this situation.
First drive, 8 plays. This the 9th play of the second possession for Winnipeg. And Nichols looks for Adams again. He stretched out and makes they're going to say out of bounds. Looked like a terrific catch. Be a couple of yards short of the first down, but see if Adams did make this grab.
Great stem inside to freeze Patrick Watkins on the route.
Not sure why that isn't a catch.
Well, let's take a look. Did the elbows touch Chris first on the turf before the knee inbounds?
Well, maybe. Although the officials changed the call and have given him the catch. Wonder if Jason Moss will dispute that. It's going to be 3rd and 1. See if we get a challenge. None from the Eskimos sidelines. Nichols off the right side. That's a better quarterback surge. And another first down for the Bombers.
That was a nice route run by Darvin Adams, and sold it enough to get them in 2nd and short or 3rd and short and convert. This is just nice route running. It freezes a veteran corner in Patrick Watkins. No challenge from Jason Moss.
So the 11th play, 19th of this first quarter, and we're not 10 minutes in. Chase Davis in the backfield, and now he'll release and look out. Big hit. Marcus Howard, but a flag on the contact.
The flag may be helmet contact, but wow, unblocked. Jamarcus Hardrick did not see 91, and he comes clean off the edge.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Edmonton, number 91.
Eskimos are going to challenge this.
Automatic first down.
You know, when I heard the hit live, it sounded like plastic, but you can see he turns his head out of the contact area, the head of Matt Nichols.
Yeah, that's
like a clean shoulder tackle.
absolutely
To Matt Nichols.
With all the quarterbacks going down, the referee's extremely cautious. And this one likely to be overturned. The passer penalty on Marcus Howard.
Like Marcus Howard to me, and all the looks I've seen in commercial now, turned his head to get it out of the initial contact zone here. Watch how he turns his head to the left and avoids the helmet-to-helmet contact in the ear hole of Matt Nichols as he's trying to duck that hit. This may be the best look. He's coming right at you. Now watch how he turns his head to the right and does not make contact with the helmet.
Fully on the right shoulder.
Marcus Howard's helmet hits the shoulder of Matt Nichols.
Would be his 2nd sack of the year. Hasn't had one since week 1. And Eskimos looking for more pressure up front. So they've got to discuss a couple of different play calls.
After review, there is no. Be 2nd down on the 23-yard line.
So they get it right, which is the whole point of these challenges.
And, you know, I don't think Matt Nichols was actually looking for a penalty. He was looking at his right tackle, Jamarcus Hardrick, going, what happened? Why was 91 free off the edge like that?
Boy, he got the full brunt, didn't he? Just like Mike Riley did last week on a hit from John Chick. Well, instead of 1st and goal, 2nd and 18. Back at the 23. And the call draw. Andrew Harris. And he'll get wrapped up and tossed down by Dion Lacey with help from Koshi Mwamba.
2nd sack for Marcus Howard. It's a Winnipeg field goal team, a play later on the field. And, you know, that's an example, Chris, with a player safety emphasis that have been going on, that the players defensively are now starting to figure it out. Because Marcus Howard deliberately moved his helmet out of the contact area to avoid the penalty.
That one replay did show those eyes get pretty wide. What he do? He had a clear path to the quarterback. So Medlock, 30-yard attempt is good, and it's a double-digit lead for the Bombers here. Just over 10 minutes in. Mike Riley's got some work to do. Trying to kickstart the Edmonton Eskimo high-powered offense. Take on the Alouettes. It's been Cahoon night in Montreal. All the festivities begin 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific across the TSN network and in 4K. Mike Riley's only had 2 plays here in this first quarter.
Hard to get to 300 yards passing with just a couple of plays in a quarter, so he's got to stay on the field, keep that offense out there. But 7 straight 300-yard plus games for Mike Riley, closing in on CFL record.
Over 70% in all 4 starts this season. Over 350 yards in all 4.
I was going to say he leads the league in passing yards, and there's 3 teams that have played one more game.
Here comes pressure. Riley dumps it off. John White up near the 45. And he'll be just short of the first down.
Nice block in the open field by Corey Watson. He comes back and helps out his running back. White starts out in the backfield. He's just going to slip out here, and Riley finds him as the pocket starts to collapse. You see him beside him.
Flag down as they push the pile for what would be a first down. Did the Bombers give a yard? Offside against Winnipeg.
Winnipeg, number 94. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Defensive tackle, Euclid Cummings. So the initial Eskimo first down up at the Edmonton 50. High shotgun from Rotier. And here's Bowman. Picks his way into Bomber territory and down to the 43-yard line. At least 9 catches in 3 of the 4 games and 100 yards receiving in all 4.
On a record pace. 100 yards, over 100 yards in every game this season. And one other player has done that to start the year, way back in 1989. But when will Darius Bowman make that big play over the top? He does it every game.
Kind of got away from Bowman in the late stages of that Hamilton game. Jason Moss mentioned yesterday, a couple of times his number was called, the ball didn't get there. Riley going deep here for him, and incomplete. Step for step, the newcomer on the corner, Terrence Frederick, out of Texas A&M and Katy, Texas.
And then back to the post for Darius Bowman. He's that outside receiver. You're right, working on the corner. And for a rookie getting his first start, this is great composure as the ball arrives. No interference call. Doesn't mess with the Darius Bowman. That ball was too far.
Got some starts with the New Orleans Saints. Number 35, Frederick. Out of the lineup, Macho Harris, Julian Posey, Chris Randall, all injured. Here's Riley, and he gets dragged down from behind. Shayon Green makes sure he doesn't get away, and it will be third down.
Green missed last week in that defensive line. He's back in the lineup, 24-year-old out of Miami, and Jamal Westerman, the guy up front who leads the team in sacks with 2. Maurice Leggett leads in interceptions with a couple. And as I mentioned in the secondary, Bruce Johnson back. They've got a couple of young guys. Taylor Loeffler at safety, Terrence Frederick we just talked about in their first starts.
Control. So Grant Shaw gets set to punt. There's some lightning in the area. Boy, they get the rush on. Shaw got it away, and he'll kick it out of bounds. No return inside the 15-yard line. 34-yard kick. Let's go down to the sidelines. Here's Dustin Nielsen.
Yeah, it's starting to rain a little bit down here now, starting to come down pretty good. For Matt Nichols, a return to Edmonton means yet another meal with a former teammate. 2 weeks ago in Winnipeg, he went out for dinner with Mike Riley. Last night here in Edmonton, he went out with J.C. Sherritt, a longtime friend, and I had to push him for a little inside information, but he did say that Mike Riley is the better tipper of the two, while J.C. Sherritt is the guy who cleans up all the leftovers out on the table.
First down, Winnipeg.
Hey, Dustin Suits is impressed. There's no umbrellas in football.
Yeah, way to go. That's Edmonton tough right there.
The game will be delayed due to weather.
And now
Lightning in the area.
There is lightning in the area, and they are going to suspend play here.
Never stops due to rain, but it will stop due to lightning. And
Now, we've seen a little bit just beyond the stadium here, and again, it was a real heavy thunderstorm here yesterday, and more were in the forecast. And
studio guys have to stop crushing food and get back to the desk.
buffet time has been suspended as well. So the teams will head to the locker rooms. An impressive opening quarter, at least an impressive start for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They'd like to keep playing here. Right now, though, we're going to have a timeout on the field, and we'll check in with Rod and the boys.
Thank you, CC. Suits. It is Thursday Night Football on TSN. Welcome as we get this week started.
If you didn't know, now you know.
Waggle's not always downhill, Chris.
It's all touchdown, Terrell Walker.
This is a live look back at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. The Bombers and the Eskimos getting set to resume play after a long weather delay with the threat of lightning. It is 11-0 Winnipeg out of the gate. Looking very impressive so far, and just barely a minute to go in the first quarter. But 11-0, the Bombers lead the Edmonton Eskimos. Thursday Night Football, presented by the Brick. Rod Smith back with Jock Climby and Matt Dunnigan. So now the question becomes, with all that rather unexpected Winnipeg momentum, like, you know, let's call it what it is, given the way that Bomber offense has struggled, defense too. They've looked very good so far. What kind of effect, I wonder, will this weather delay have?
Yeah, I think these guys, they're pros, and they're just going to reset. So, that's going to be fine. I think, what I'm going to be watching for the rest of the game is whether McDuffie can single-handedly win the game by running the top off the defense for the Bombers. That's what I'm going to be watching for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's an important aspect of it. No question. And I'll drive that point home more at halftime, because I know how important that is playing the position of quarterback, whether you're Drew Willie or Matt Nichols. But I can tell you, these Edmonton Eskimo football team needs to regroup in a hurry because they're reeling right now. It's carrying over from last week.
They were up 31-6, and it's been 42 unanswered points carrying into this game as we go back to Commonwealth now for Chris Cuthbert and Glenn Suter, guys.
Yes, Rod, this 30-minute break's giving fans a chance to have another drink and get set for a resumption in play. The clock tells us there's just over a minute left in a warm-up period. And you think Travis Bond's already made an impact, the big guy in at left guard in this game.
Yeah, University of North Carolina at 6'7" and 360. I mean, a big, big man, and he led the way for Andrew Harris on that touchdown, the opening drive. Really nice drive block to create a pile, and then Harris just worked around that. There's Bond right there in the middle of your screen. And the big man just kind of collapses everything right there, creates that pile, and Andrew Harris gets that first touchdown. He had runs of 6, 7, and 9 yards, as Matt Dunnigan mentioned, on first down in that. And I think maybe Bond is helping. And if you haven't heard the story, it really is quite remarkable. His friends and classmates called him Treetop, and in 2012, as a senior, he was riding his scooter to a study hall.
A scooter.
A scooter, yes. Go ahead and bug him about that if you want. But he's riding it to study hall, and a truck, a delivery truck, hits him head on. The scooter goes flying, lands on him. He picks it up, puts it aside, goes to his study class, has no problem. A couple days later, he's lifting weights and says, my wrist is bothering me. It had been broken for 2. There was a massive dent in the truck. The truck lost that battle.
Here we go, back to work. Matt Nichols, the wide side throw. And it's a completion. Rory Kollert with the catch. Tracked over on the far side of the field by Cord Parks.
And you never know. I mean, Jamarcus Hardrick moves to tackle. Patrick Neufeld is injured and a veteran at tackle. So obviously they want to get Neufeld back. But you never know until you see a guy play. I think he's making an impact early. Let's see if he can continue to do that. And especially on first down, creating manageable situations for Matt Nichols.
Extra American on the offensive line means a change to the ratio for Winnipeg. Second and short. Here's Harris with another first down run, and he gets to the second level and up to the 35-yard line. So a 13-yard run for Andrew Harris. That matches his rushing total of last week against Calgary.
Well, let's take a look at the blocking up front. There's the guy we just talked about. Look him work on Marcus Howard, turn him inside, and then you get that bounce. Travis Bond, nice block on a premier defensive end.
So now 8 carries, 43 yards for Harris, who had 8 carries for 13 yards last week.
Timeout, Winnipeg.
So the Bombers, they did not have the right complement on the field. So this will be the final play, barring a penalty in the opening quarter.
I saw a late addition. Looks like Quincy McDuffie came on off the sideline and into the huddle real late after the timeout was called.
So the guys apparently were watching Matt Dunnigan during the break. Get McDuffie in.
They tried to, and McDuffie was busy or something.
Bunch formation short side, and they run that way, and here's Harris again. This is the Andrew Harris everybody signed up for. First down run, and you can see he has a jump in his step.
Celebrating with the big boys.
Over 50 yards rushing for Andrew Harris in the opening quarter. A terrific first quarter for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on offense. And they have an 11-point lead through an elongated 15 minutes. Andrew Harris with 53 yards rushing in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, you take a look at Matt Nichols' numbers, 141 yards passing, which would put him on pace for over 500 yards on the night. Now, things tend to even out, although when you take a look at that bottom line and the 42 points given up by this Edmonton defense, Matt Dunnigan talked about it at the break, they've got to figure out a way to get this defense fired up and make some stops, because that's going back to 2 quarters last week.
Guys, we're talking about passive-aggressive. Do they get more aggressive to try and change the course of this?
I think with those young guys in the back end, you simplify things. You call just straight cover one, man-to-man with a safety in the middle, and let the players go out and play and make plays like they did when they were in college or in high school. Just let them fly around. Start thinking too much, you get in trouble.
First down, 45, short drop, and there's Dressler with another catch, and another first down. Fourth catch for Weston Dressler. Mentioned 12 last week. That a CFL career high for Weston Dressler. Went over 8,000 receiving yards in his career in that game.
You see Marcel Young there just bailed to his own.
And now Andrew Harris turns the corner and continues to chew up yards.
Right now, they're moving Marcus Howard from defensive end, and Benavides is moving him inside, putting Dion Lacey here on the edge, and Marcus Howard, the D end here. Watch how Bond is sealing Howard. He's not letting that D lineman get penetration, get up there and get to Harris behind the line of scrimmage.
Andrew Harris had 80 yards rushing in week 1, his best total at 75 already. Nichols wide open, Darvin Adams, and he missed the shot, Quincy McDuffie, and one Nichols would like to get back.
Boy, he had him. Quincy McDuffie right there in that number 2 spot, just outside the hash. Straight go route for him, wide open on the bus from the Edmonton Eskimos. Cord Parks takes Weston Dressler over the middle, leaves him wide open, drops him over the top, and Nichols just misses him.
Big missed opportunity, 2nd and 10. Just outside the Eskimo 30. 3 receivers near his side. Nichols looking that way, and then a crosser to McDuffie, and not going very far. Dion Lacey makes the defensive play, and the field goal team will come on for Winnipeg.
A little enthusiasm there from the Edmonton Eskimo linebacker, trying to get his teammates fired up after the tackle here, and it's a good solid one on this crosser to Darvin Adams, to McDuffie, and steps up and makes a real nice tackle.
So Medlock on to attempt a 34-yarder. Out of the hole to Dressler. Bombers lead by 14. 2 minutes into this second quarter. It's been all Winnipeg, but maybe Dion Lacey going to fire up the Eskimos with that last defensive play. Well, this was the scene second half last week. Even Mike Riley's wife thought this was a little demonstrative.
I didn't. He was trying to rally the entire group after watching that 25-point lead slip away.
Tried to get a spark going last week. Needs one here as the Eskimos take over at the 35-yard line. Wide side, Darrell Walker bumped out by C.J. Roberts. And we talked to Mike Riley about that sideline meeting.
That message was not for the offensive line. It wasn't for any single person in particular. It was for the entire offense as a whole, myself included. You know, we had had a good stretch for 2.5 quarters and things were starting to slip away. And we were really letting our defense down, putting them in a bad situation. And at that point in time, we needed a spark. I knew it. And, you know, you can't sit there and wait around for somebody else to provide the spark. You got to make the spark happen.
There was some, sorry, Chris, I know there was some discussion on, you know, was it too much? Was it over the top? If Mike Riley, what he does and his work ethic and work habits, what he does day in and day out, if Mike Riley can't do that with his teammates, then nobody can. They have great respect for him. Jason Moss expects it from him. They didn't get it done last week, but Mike Riley's okay to do that in my books.
Got a first down connection to Corey Watson. Now John Whitestraight in. He did make the point that it wasn't just at the offensive line, and the reason they got down there is he didn't want the big guys to have to get off the bench and go down to the other end of the sidelines. So he took the receivers down for that impromptu meeting. Simeon Rotier, the center, in place of the injured Justin Sorensen. 2nd and 9. Flags fly, and Walker's got a catch. Has a first down, steps out at the Winnipeg 52-yard line. Let's see what the flag's all about.
Offside, Winnipeg number 43. That penalty's declined. First down, Edmonton.
Rookie Trent Corney offside, so the catch stands, and the Eskimos get on to the opposition side of half.
Move Darrell Walker inside, so we got a lot of room there. There's the offside, lined up offside.
Sun's starting to come out here at the brick field. They're going to swing it out to the far side. Corey Watson cut down. There's the newcomer on the corner, Terrence Frederick. Mentioned out of Katy, Texas, a former teammate in high school of Bo Levi Mitchell.
Yeah, you could see this coming because this bubble sweep right here just took a little bit too long, or bubble hitch here to Corey Watson. Just a little bit too long, almost like Mike Riley had to reload it before he got it to him. And Frederick came downhill, made the big hit.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Here comes pressure. Riley out of the pocket, throwing, and Jay separated from the football. Frederick makes back-to-back plays.
Great timing on the hit. The back of the shoulder pads by Terrence Frederick, who had to go a long way there to track him. So the inside bang route, then back to the outside in the wide side corner, and the timing excellent. Shot in the back, separate the football from the receiver.
3 consecutive punts to start the game for Edmonton. Grant Shaw looks for the pin. Low line drive, bouncing at the 20, scooped up there by McDuffie. Makes a couple men miss, and Matt Dunnigan will like that return up near the 40-yard line. 36-yard punt, 18 on the return, and Andrew Harris off and running here in the opening half at Commonwealth. Playbook tonight suits on the zone read. Henry Burris, the first in Calgary.
Outstanding. Yeah, one of the greats at it. And, you see it from every team. And I also took the angle from the defensive end and the bind that the defensive ends are in when you do run the zone read successfully.
Just past the 5-minute mark, second quarter, and why not stay on the ground? Andrew Harris crashing forward once again. Eddie Steele hanging on to make the tackle.
Take a look again. You're talking about that zone read. This wasn't necessarily that play, but you see how you got to hesitate here before you crash down because the defensive end has contained. So he steps up. Odell Willis waits to see that the ball is handed off and then goes and slides underneath.
So, Odell with the tackle, and the former Bomber makes a terrific play. Only 2 100-yard rushers so far this season. Wide open, Weston Dressler over the middle and back into Edmonton territory. Down to the Eskimo 46.
Fantastic recognition, and confusion reigns in the secondary for the Edmonton Eskimos. Here's the recognition as you're going to get Dressler coming from here, and he's going to run the hop. But watch how that flat route from Harris confuses the defense, gets 3 defenders jumping the running back, and Dressler wide open.
And Dressler went over 8,000 yards, has now moved into the top 40 in all-time receiving. Another good first down run by Harris. Weston Dressler just passed Chris Armstrong and Emmanuel Tolbert on the all-time receiving list.
Yeah, and I heard, the panel talk about this defense in Edmonton too, and what is the issue really? I mean, I'm seeing a front four that's losing the line of scrimmage here, and there's no newcomers up there. That's Marcus Howard, Odell Willis, Armando Sewell, Eddie Steele. I mean, those guys are veteran guys, and they're losing the line of scrimmage right now.
7 more for Harris. They fake to Harris, and Darvin Adams, another first down. Working against Solomon Means, the newcomer on the corner for Edmonton.
Something feels a little different about this Bomber team here tonight, and part of it is what they do after plays. I've seen Andrew Harris a bunch of times go to his O-line and give them a pat on the shoulder, get excited with the O-line. That was Darvin Adams coming back and celebrating with the tackle.
Now they'll swing it back to Dressler. Dressler over 100 yards on the day and has another Bomber first down. Well, it's the oldest axiom in the book, though, isn't it, Suits? Winning the battle up front, and the Bombers are doing that.
Well, and it all of a sudden looks like whatever you call is going to work well.
From the 20, a pump and a goal, and Dressler in the corner can't hold on. Up against Marcel Young, looked like he had a half step.
Tried to get the fake hitch out there, and then the go to Weston Dressler. You get a great look at it. You see how he tries to pretend like he's going to block on that hitch. Pump fake from Matt Nichols, and there's the recovery by Marcel Young.
Bomber bench checking out the scoreboard replay. No challenge. 2nd and 10. 5 receivers out. Dressler behind him and unable to make the catch. Marcel Young there to make sure.
Well, a couple plays from the 6-year CFL veteran and Marcel Young back-to-back here to Weston Dressler. We need some of these veterans on defense to step up, but that was the first ball that was a little off target from Matt Nichols. Really the first, well, other than the deep one he missed. 2 passes that have been a little off target for Matt Nichols.
Offense might still be on the field if that pass had have been in front of the target, not behind, but Medlock to try and make sure they come away with points. From 28 out, Medlock is good again. So it's a 17-point lead for the visitors, Darius Bowman and the Edmonton Eskimo offense looking for traction and looking for a comeback tonight at Commonwealth. Tonight, almost unstoppable in the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, he's got some work to do to get that 100-yard game. The only other player to do that, David Williams for the BC Lions in 1989. And just seeing David Williams, let's put it this way, I respected him. He wasn't my favorite player to play against.
Riley wide open. Darrell Walker a little sidestep trying to get away from Ian Wild and pumped out at the Bomber bench. Riley a little slow to get up after that.
Yeah, he had to step in there and take a hit. Little play action, and as he spun out of it and turned, he sees his target. He wants to get it to him. He's got to hold it that extra second, and then his own man got him low.
19 to Walker, who has 3 catches, 36 on the day. 4 receivers wide side, and they go back the other way, and John White, not much there. So it'll be second and almost the full 10. Bombers have a touchdown and 3 field goals in their 4 possessions. Eskimos with punts at the end of their first 3 possessions. Trying to keep this drive alive. Flag down. Riley down. Driven to the turf by Euclid Cummings. That would be his first sack as a Bomber, but let's find out what the flag's all about.
Offside, Edmonton, number 4. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
So Bowman jumped the gun, and Euclid took the right ankle to the quarterback.
Yeah, he did. Actually, at the start of this play, though, he takes the wrong angle because he bubbles with a blitzer outside him. He's supposed to take an inside rush lane there to allow the blitzer free. A little stunt there. Now Cummings does come free around as he loops around. Makes a tackle on Riley.
8 sacks last year as an Argo, his first as a Bomber. McDuffie. Dion Lacey there to bring him down. Well, just when you thought it was safe to go back outside, the cult hit returns with a brand new C-list cast. Are we in this? Brace yourself for Sharknado. The 4th Awakens, Sunday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Only on Space. Flag down back near the line of scrimmage. Mike O'Shea getting the options.
Illegal formation, Edmonton. That penalty's declined. 1st down, Winnipeg.
So the Bombers will take the ball at their own 28. Points on each possession so far.
Weston Dressler not out there, Chris, getting his ankle taped up. Looked at after the last series.
And Nichols going to have to eat this. Look to the sidelines, nobody there, and he got buried. There's Dressler.
It was after that hit from Marcel Young in the last series when that ball was thrown slightly behind him. It looked like their knees hit. They were looking at his ankle as well. Look at the left knee of Young, the right knee and lower leg there of Dressler. Through the break, and well, Edmonton had the ball. They were looking at that right leg.
Almondo Sewell checks out. Koshi Moamba, the extra deep back, and they'll call draw to Harris, and Dion Lacey make sure he doesn't get to the first down stick. It's the first 2 and out of the night for the Winnipeg offense.
And should be decent field position. One of those play calls from Paul Lapalisse, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers offensive coordinator, to basically limit the damage after being in second and long situation in your own end.
Now Jace Davis gets attention, so Dressler in the last series, and now another receiver getting attention. Dressler on the sidelines, looks like
he's having all kinds of issues and not putting a lot of weight on that leg.
Has missed one game this season. Ryan Smith already out.
Thomas Mayo not in the dress lineup either.
You mentioned over 8,000 last week, over 100 in this game, so he starts to climb the list in the top 40 all time. And now at number 38.
Mike O'Shea wanted to put another defensive lineman on the roster, so Mayo not there. Ryan Smith still out. Also wanted to look at Shepard.
Medlock's first punt. Denzel Doe at the 40, a 39-yard punt. And nothing on the return, gets driven back by Pascal Lochard. And now Mike Riley, with under 4 minutes left in the first half, will try and get some points on the board. The Eskimos with 48 second quarter points this season had scored double digits in each of the second quarters until this game.
Now, of course, last week they were just dominant in the first half and looked like they were going to cruise home.
Haven't put a dent in that rebuilt secondary for the Bombers, and an incompletion there on a pass he intended to Watson.
Riley put that one right on his shoulders. Knows he had an open receiver in Corey Watson and just threw that one a little bit low and away.
Boy, this team was so anxious to get back on the field. Short week, but wanting to atone for last week's meltdown. 2nd and 10. Riley airing it out, looking downfield. Intended for Getzlaff, incomplete, and the coverage was tight, although Getzlaff signaling to the sidelines to have a look at it.
Yeah, you know, I look at this live, and it's the guy in coverage is one of my favorite new defensive backs in the league, to be quite honest with you, and Kevin Fogg, who's number 4 in the CFL in tackles and the number 1 DB, and it looked like he went up after. I didn't think that he turned with that left hand Getzlaff until after the ball had gone by him. Looks like
we're getting the challenge.
Jason Moss may want to take another look at this. Again, you can make contact as long as you don't hold the receiver from running to the football or twist him as the ball's in the air and he's going to get it.
Edmonton is challenging defensive pass interference on the previous play.
Boy, that looks like perfect coverage, doesn't it?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Up at the top here is the left hand on the shoulder there of Getzlaff should be fine. And he did touch the ball when he played it in the air. Now, Getzlaff turns after the fact, once the ball bounces off the turf. Had there been a grab and Getzlaff turned his shoulder while the ball's in the air before it arrives to him, yeah, then he has been impeded to get to the football. But just the fact that that left hand is on the shoulder pad, that by itself doesn't constitute pass interference. But we'll see. Yeah, that looked like a knockdown to me.
Fogg with 28 tackles and 4 knockdowns on the year. He is in the top 5 in tackles in the league and has made a solid impression. First 3 weeks on the corner, moved inside.
Oh, yeah, I think this guy's a real deal. I mean, he's a keeper out there. You always take a look at young players. Usually we talk a lot about the newcomers on offense when they're putting up numbers. Harder to do that with defensive players, but we've covered the Bombers a few times, and Kevin Fogg makes plays. Got an interception and is the #1 tackler in the league as far as defensive backs go. So he's not afraid to get up involved and get his nose dirty.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass. Edmonton is charged a timeout.
By the way, do you see the signal from Getzlaff? Is the tap the head? Because if you motion like you should get a call with the flag motion, that's a penalty.
So another Eskimo punt as Grant Shaw gets set to kick to McDuffie. Line drive, 28-yard line. McDuffie finds that seam again. And flags fly as he crashes close to midfield.
I counted 3 tackles from Dion Lacey still on those cover teams. That may have saved a touchdown, that last one.
Hasn't been as prominent on the teams until tonight, but back to doing what he does. We'll sort out the flag when we come back.
On their comments for this first half of the Eskimos and the Bombers. You know, Matt's going to be talking more about Quincy McDuffie. We'll also have the GMC playbook and talk about tomorrow night's doubleheader as well as we send it back to Chris and Glenn.
While he's in on offense, Rod, Quincy McDuffie has to come in because Weston Dressler is not available to return. There are the numbers for Matt Nichols tonight. By the way, a holding call on that return against Brendan Morgan brings the ball back to the 25. It'll be Andrew Harris, and he keeps chewing up yardage, close to another first down.
Andrew Harris isn't seeing first contact until he gets into the second level back here. That's the linebacking core beyond level. Because up front, the kick-out block there, real nice one by Gosen.
2nd and inches. Dominic Davis will come in on short yardage. So the number 3 man will handle short yardage this time. Slide a little right and move the chains. I'm going to say Andrew Harris is right at 100 yards rushing, or just short of it. Officially either 99 or 100.
We're halfway to his totals coming in at 206 coming in after the first 5 games of the season. So the run game kick-started a little bit tonight. Now again, this defense has been giving up and hemorrhaging yardage over the last 4 quarters.
Would be just the 3rd 100-yard rushing game of the year. Jerome Messam and Anthony Allen, the first 2. Here's the fly sweep to Dunnigan's guy. And McDuffie cuts it back and gets a few extra yards.
You know, Chris, this Bomber team has been close in some games this year. You know, they beat Hamilton out in Hamilton by 4 points and close to really improving their record in a big way in a couple of games. One against the Edmonton Eskimos early on, just a 4-point loss there. This is this 2 minutes and 3 seconds. This is how you finish. You put a dagger in them right now with another score.
Add to the lead and keep the ball away from them if you can. 2nd and short. Harris. Extra effort, first down.
Yeah, but you wonder why when you get into the fourth quarters of games and you haven't made those moves. I mean, this has been a dominant first half. As good a first half by the Bombers offensively as we've seen all year. But this is an important drive. Minute 41 here. You put another score on the board, and that's a huge dagger, and it takes that confidence level of the Edmonton defense and drops it another notch.
Been a complete offensive effort so far. That pass reaches the target. Pulled in by Quincy McDuffie, or they're saying incomplete. No, it is a catch.
Yeah, you
Up at
reached
the
out.
53,
You
yeah.
reached out and got that. You came back to the ball. Nicely, like Matt Dunnigan said, he's a burner, so you got to respect him as a defensive back. That time they sent a little pressure from Marcel Young out of the secondary.
Nichols over 200 here in the opening half. Swings it to McDuffie again, and he made the first man miss. He'll get stopped at midfield, but avoided a huge seismic hit.
With the quarterbacks, we've seen, Chris, Mike Riley throw this a little bit late, and this time Matt Nichols doesn't give Quincy McDuffie enough time to turn around and face up that first tackler, which was Solomon Means.
So a punt situation from midfield, trying to pin the Eskimos here in the final minute. Medlock lines it and go at his 16. Tried to change direction and nothing doing. Ian Wild down first to chalk up a special team tackle.
Well, don't be surprised at all to see Mike Riley try and take a shot here. Pedal to the metal, and the Bombers didn't get that nail they needed, that dagger they needed in that minute 40.
Well, he has the weapons. 87 and 4, both deep threats. Mike Riley's had those numbers in opening series this season. But those are the numbers here late in the first half. John White, Khalil Bass takes him down. White close to a first down with 44 seconds on the clock here in the opening half.
Jamal Westerman getting there just as Riley is throwing that football.
Get the first down. Flags fly. Likely offside Winnipeg, and that would stop the clock.
Got Darrell Walker into the boundary. And
Offside, Winnipeg, number 93. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's Justin Cole on the roster this week at defensive end.
Riley was going to take a shot deep. It'd either be Bowman, who's in the short side with Darrell Walker.
And this time Tony Washington out of his stance prematurely. The left tackle moved first, and they'll back up 5.
That was going to be a deep shot.
Edmonton, number 58. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
You could see the frustration there in Riley's face because that was going to be a deep shot. They put Corey Watson, Adarius Bowman, and Darrell Walker into the boundary, and Watson was going to try and draw the safety away, go deep with the other two, and throw it up there. And now they're back in a hole in first and long.
Do get a sense this is a critical 37 seconds for Edmonton in the game. Riley out of the pocket, getting chased, throws it away at the Bomber bench with Westerman turning up the heat.
Deep post route there from Walker, well covered by C.J. Roberts, who ran with the fast, fleet-footed receiver in Walker step for step, and Riley just pulled it down, didn't like it.
Put up 501 net yards against Winnipeg a couple of weeks ago and have been stymied here for almost the entire first half. Pump and he'll air it out. He's got Walker, and Darrell Walker at midfield has a catch. Frederick keeps him in bounds, and now 22 seconds remaining, but a big play there of 29 yards.
Yeah, and this is a throw that Mike Riley didn't get everything on it he wanted. That was a little bit of a wobbler, and Darrell Walker comes back and finds the football for him.
I wonder if the wet conditions have affected both quarterbacks a little bit here in the first half. Another procedure call against Edmonton.
Yeah, it looked like Corey Watson, again, 3 receivers into the boundary.
Edmonton, number 62. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Now Chris Greaves, the left guard, flinched first, but you're right, it did look like some of the receivers were going to be offside.
Remember Simeon Rotier playing his first game this year at center.
Riley to the sidelines. Walker will step out there into Sean White range here. Trying to break the goose egg in the opening half, but
So let's just remember, the Bombers had the ball with 1:40 to go in this half. Didn't put that next dagger into it with another score. Riley's looking at field goal range. He's got one more play before they try it. And we've got a 2-possession, 14-point game if he makes it.
can't take too long though. 5 receivers out. They'll dump it down, and John White will be dropped at the 40 with 3 seconds to go, so they improve the field position for Sean White to come on to try and get Edmonton on the scoreboard here in the opening half.
All in all, though, standing first half for the Bombers. And for Matt Nichols, former Edmonton Eskimo, coming back. Looked real sharp in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, we had the long rain delay as well. Or lightning delay, I should say.
Nichols 9 for 9 inside the 50. And make it 10 for 10. So Edmonton salvages a field goal from the opening half, and the fans give them a little bit of a Bronx cheer for the long wait to put points on the board. 47-yard field goal. And it's a 14-point Bomber lead. Halftime at Commonwealth. Let's join the boys. Here's Rod Smith.
Thank you, Chris. So it does end with something.
With a 2-touchdown lead as we get set for the second half. But first, Dustin Nielsen with Jason Moss.
Jason, down at halftime, what's the message you send there in the room?
Fight for another 30 minutes. You know, we got to correct some stuff, get better. We got to stay on the field offensively, and I think our defense, stepped up to the plate in the second quarter, held into a couple field goals. We got to do the same in the second half, but offensively, we need to stay on the field.
I know yesterday you said last week was all about just making one play. Get the one play. Do you get the sense that's what you need again?
Bottom line, yes. I mean, guys got to step up in this half, and we will.
Thanks, Jason.
Defiant words from the head coach. Came in as the highest scoring team in the league, but it was 58 minutes on home turf between points before Mike Riley's crew finally generated a field goal on that final possession of the first half.
Now, a little something with that field goal just before the end of the half there, and sometimes that's all it takes. You just get started. You're shooting baskets in your backyard. You got to make that first one, and then you get on a roll. See if Mike Riley can put up some of the numbers we're used to seeing in this second half, and that's the 300 mark in passing yards.
Drove the field to start the second half last week against Hamilton. A lot of comebacks this year in the Canadian Football League. Eskimos will have designs on that. The Bombers, other plans. Kenzel Doe up over the 30 to get things started here in the second half.
Just one catch, and Chris, in that first half for Darius Bowman. Again, talk about guys that this year have just been unstoppable. 4 straight 100-yard games for Bowman, and he's got just one catch in that first half.
After 185 in his first meeting against Winnipeg, Riley's streak of 300-yard games and games with touchdowns on the line here in the second half, although that's not of primary importance in his mind. John White catch and run for a first down and 13 to get things going.
Yeah, you don't throw for 300 yards in one play. You go back to your offense. That's a little zone read, and then you get to the outside, throw it to John White, move the chains, get a few first downs in a row, and get things started that way in the second half.
Now they'll run the fly sweep to Bowman, who is strung out and can't turn the corner. Nothing there. Bruce Johnson, the veteran, made sure he couldn't head north.
Yeah, there was a couple of Bomber defenders there that did a nice job of just stringing that along and not really giving Darius Bowman a little run lane there. It started out, it looked like, by Justin Cole, number 93. Watch him to the right of your screen. Just flattens this out, he stays wide, doesn't make the tackle, but he forces Bowman to keep his shoulder pads toward the sideline and not downfield.
That extra defensive end suiting up has worked well for Mike O'Shea with Justin Cole, and now Walker cut down just beyond the line of scrimmage, and so it's going to be a punt situation after one first down on their first possession of the second half.
Yeah, another defensive lineman dressed. Justin Cole there in that first down play. He makes it. Michael Shea wanting to make sure those guys up front were fresh all game long.
Long snapper is Casey Chin. And on a hop, McDuffie inside his 25, not going anywhere. Blair Smith, who has been terrific on the teams all season long, gets there first. Now Matt Nichols back to work. A huge first half at 80%, over 200 yards. Trying to keep it going here against his old team at Commonwealth. Bombers without one of their prime weapons here in the second half. With more, let's go back to Dustin Nielsen.
After a big first half for Weston Dressler, he will not be returning to the game. Late along the sidelines here in the first half, he was testing what appeared to be a lower body injury. The Bombers told us he's not coming back. He did come back out on the sidelines with a little bit of a limp. He will be with his teammates on the sidelines for the second half.
6 catches, 111 yards first half for Dressler in this game. Nichols throws complete. And Julian Fioli-Gadino gets some time in that offense in the absence of Dressler and has a first down catch in 16.
It's a big hit for this offense, though. Dressler over 100 yards in that first half, and record-setting pace there for Dressler, at least for him personally. And then now don't be surprised at all to see Nichols lean a little bit more on Darvin Adams.
Quincy McDuffie also getting attention on the sidelines. Fioli-Gadino with his first catch of the year. Andrew Harris up near the 45-yard line, close to, well, we'll give him 4. So 108 for Harris so far, his biggest game as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber.
It doesn't matter much really who plays receiver for Winnipeg if the Edmonton defensive front seven can't lock down that line of scrimmage a little bit better than they have been so far. That battle has been won by the Blue Bombers.
16 carries for Harris, has not caught a pass. Most touches in a game, 19 a couple of times this year. There's a catch for Darvin Adams, and Bombers have another first down into Edmonton territory, and Adams was wide open.
A lot of respect up there from Patrick Watkins for Darvin Adams. He's first of all going to play way off him and give him space here, and then as he goes back in his back pedal, watch how Patrick Watkins is going to open up and turn as if Adams is going deep, and he's still giving him a good 6-yard cushion to throw that little curl. That's pitch and catch for Nichols.
5 for 74 for Adams, who has a couple of 100-yard games so far. Play action fake, and Nichols looks for Adams again, and incomplete. Crowd of Eskimos surrounding him, and Matt Nichols slow to get up. And is he going to be able to get up?
Boy, he was wobbly getting up there. And I can't think of any other time in this game that he's actually been hit like this. Again, because the battle in the trench has been won by the Bombers. Odell Willis steps up.
Got a challenge flag from the sidelines. Are they going to take a look at the coverage on Darvin Adams here? So was there illegal contact on the receiver?
Winnipeg is challenging that there was illegal contact on the previous play. We'll review the play.
Let's take a look here. There's Darvin Adams. He's going to get contact from Marcel Young. That's 5, so that's still legal. 6, they'll give you a little leeway.
We'll let them make the review. We wait the verdict when we come back.
take another look at that Darvin Adams contact from Marcel Young. Again, here's your line of scrimmage right there. And so you get to here to be able to jam 5 yards from that line of scrimmage. Now, in the interpretation of the rules, they say that can be 5 to maybe 6 a little bit. I say that was about 1.5 yards past the 5-yard mark. So, again, this is going to be up to the discretion of the replay official. But they will give you a little leeway. Like, it's not a hard 5. But is it 7 or is it 6? That was about 6.5.
Often see a coach wait for something more significant later in the game, but you get the impression Mike O'Shea considers this a key juncture in the game here early. Third quarter, ball on the Edmonton side of half. Important to get more points. Let's find out if he gets the call.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass. Second down, Winnipeg.
So I said there's leeway there. It's around 6.5 yards. If the DB as well is trying to get off the receiver and not just hanging on and dragging with him.
Because we've seen a lot of receivers attacking the DBs and initiating that call.
You got the call right.
2nd and 10. Nichols' sideline pass is too high for the newcomer. That's Gerard Shepard. First time we've really seen him in the offense. A couple of games on the teams has impressed the head coach, and you may have to lean on him a little bit in the absence of Weston Dressler. But Bombers are going to have to kick it away.
Yeah, Matt Nichols takes a low hit here. It's Jabari Hunt. That was a missed one. And that's a dangerous
there comes
hit.
the challenge.
And there's a challenge.
Yeah, I was going to say, wish the challenge had come one play later, but he's going to use it up here, and this one should be successful.
And this is a dangerous play. And this is Jabari Hunt. You know, we've seen a few of these, and Matt Nichols got up right away, by the way, and tried to get.
Winnipeg is challenging roughing the passer on the previous play. We'll review the play.
And, you know, even if you trip, even if you get pushed, if you stumble, it doesn't matter. If you hit the quarterback below the knees, it's a penalty. And when Jabari Hunt comes in here and crawls and then lunges and dives below the knees, that's a dangerous hit. Not only is it a penalty, but there'll probably be supplemental discipline, or should be. This is how quarterbacks go down. This is why Ricky Ray is out 4 to 6. This is why Darian Durant has missed 2-3 weeks. I was falling, stumbling, but hit the quarterback low as I rolled. I think it could be even time to have the meeting of the rules committee where they go in there and they say it's automatic.
We have roughing the passer, Edmonton number 76.
Sure it is.
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
To go in and have an emergency meeting and say plays like that are a one-game suspension automatic. I mean, these are the quarterbacks in the league, and those are dangerous hits when they've thrown the ball and they go after their knees down below the knee.
So it gives Winnipeg a fresh set of downs all the way to the Edmonton 36. Costly penalty.
Well, and it's a good thing it wasn't more costly.
Yes.
Matt Nichols
Absolutely.
isn't lying on the turf still.
Back on the ground to Harris, right side, and wrestled down. Eddie Steele at the bottom of the pile. Maybe one. Eddie Steele was telling us yesterday he's been trying to tackle Andrew Harris since grade 7, all the way up through minor football in Winnipeg, high school football. And he did acknowledge that just about every time they played Andrew Harris, he had 3 or 4 touchdowns. Second and long. Harris out of the backfield. Nichols dumps it down, and Chase Davis is nailed by Marcel Young, who's had a strong night defensively for Edmonton.
Marcel Young had Davis in his sights, honed in, lowered his shoulder, good, clean, square tackle. Watch him hone in. Got him down, lowered his shoulder, explodes up into the chest of the receiver. That's textbook tackle in the open field.
So Justin Medlock trying to get that late 3 by Edmonton at the end of the first half back, and it does. 4 for 4 on the night for Medlock. From 43 yards out, adds to the Bomber lead. But the Eskimo defense stiffened there, led by veteran Marcel Young.
The 20.
PGA Championship continues tomorrow. Second round action. Coverage begins at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Jimmy Walker, the leader, at 5 under par. TSN 1, 4, and 5.
That looked just like my golf swing. Not good.
Mike Riley hit some 300 yards, but has some work to do tonight to do that. And into the flat. Pitch is made by Natea J. First of the night. Second is an Eskimo for the former Toronto Argonaut.
Yeah, Jason Moss is absolutely correct. He's got to keep his offense on the field somehow. And right now the Bombers defensively are taking away that deep ball, the big strike to Darrell Walker or Darius Bowman, and they're making Mike Riley be patient.
Bombers were number 8 against the run, 8th against the pass coming in, but have been terrific so far tonight. And there's C.J. Roberts battling against Darrell Walker, a catch. 7th of the game for Walker.
Calling plays on the line of scrimmage, which they've done all year long. Little personnel change now, bringing in Calvin McCarty as a tight end.
Yeah. Three receivers short side of the field, including Getzlaff, and they're looking for Bowman, and he can't make the catch. Off his fingertips, but a flag comes down.
Bruce Johnson put his hands on Bowman's shoulders just as the ball was arriving. I didn't see from my angle live if he turned him or twisted him or held him up.
Defensive pass interference, Winnipeg, number 25.
But he put his
foul. First down.
But he put his hands in the air as if he was guilty. Watch how Johnson puts his hands up like
34-yard play. First down. Deepest the Eskimos have been, down around the goal line. Getzlaff the catch. And it's first down, Edmonton, and goal at the 2.
You've heard me say this before, Chris. Sometimes a quarterback throws his receiver open. That was a straight seam route for Getzlaff, and Mike Riley put it over that hash mark, so Getzlaff had to come off this route and bend back in the middle to get it.
First catch of the game for Getzlaff. It's a 20-yard connection. First and goal. Haven't scored a touchdown since the first series, third quarter, against Hamilton. And a little dump pass there for Getzlaff, incomplete. Looked like the play that Getzlaff scored his Eskimo touchdown on against his former team, and Corey Watson in some difficulty.
Yeah, I was going to say there was a huge pile up there, and Corey Watson ran into Getzlaff. This is just an issue of separation for these receivers. From the right of your screen, number 18 is going to flash here. Hold it there. That's his own player. He's got to be deeper than that. Now Getzlaff's trying to get out to the flat here, to the wide field, and they run into each other. Spacing for those receivers off there.
Young safety Taylor Loeffler, the Kelowna product, in the area, but he did get some help from Getzlaff's teammate, and it's Watson on his feet and headed to the sideline.
Off to a good start this season. I don't want to see Corey Watson go down to injury again. He's had some issues in his past with some injuries that kept him off the field.
Does look like he could be on his way to his best year in the league. So 2nd and goal from the 2. And they'll hand it off. McCarty, touchdown! They went 2 back, and the veteran, the senior man on the Edmonton Eskimos, Calvin McCarty, has the touchdown.
Big fullback / tight end now at 5'10", 215. Just lowered that pad level. Hitting the line of scrimmage in the 2-back set. There's 1, there's 2. And number 2 is Calvin McCarty, 31. A real low pad level and nothing that Maurice Leggett could do about that one.
150th game in the league last week, and first touchdown of the season, capping a 6-play, 75-yard drive. Sean White, the convert, and now it's a 10-point Bomber lead. Midway through the 3rd quarter, first touchdown drive of the night for the Eskimos to get back in the football game. It's 20-10. First touchdown in a couple of seasons for veteran Calvin McCarty in his 10th year with the green and gold.
Captain on this team.
I'd like to welcome viewers on ESPN2, and we're guessing that Eastern Washington coach Bo Baldwin's watching tonight, and he has his fingerprints all over this game. There's Bo Baldwin. Look at the guys he has coached. John Kitna, NFLer. Eric Meyer, who briefly was in Hamilton, but
we know
Central
that guy.
Washington, Mike Riley, and then Nichols, Bo Levi Mitchell, Vernon Adams, all at Eastern Washington.
The quarterback factory.
The quarterback whisperer.
Yeah.
And Matt Nichols still stays in touch with his old head coach.
Sure he's watching tonight.
Mike Riley talking about the influence that Bo Baldwin had on his career. Bo Baldwin was a quarterback, and I was doing my research and set a couple of school records, one against Simon Fraser.
Must have been long gone then, right?
Look at Kevin Fogg. He's impressed us defensively and with the few returns, and improves the position for one of Bo Baldwin's proteges, Matt Nichols.
As we mentioned off the top of this second half, missing a key weapon in Weston Dressler, gone for the game. We haven't seen the ball in the hands of Shepard yet.
You thought that series at the end of the first half was big for Winnipeg. This is big too, isn't it?
Absolutely.
After an Eskimo touchdown.
Need an answer.
Wide side. Darvin Adams escorted out by Patrick Watkins.
A good hard throw from Matt Nichols there. Timing was bang on to Darvin Adams on that out route.
6 catch for Adams, 6 yards on the play, 2nd and 4.
Patrick Watkins in man situation has had his hands full with Darvin Adams. Not a lot of big numbers just yet, but he's given him a lot of room.
Eskimos look for a stop. Nichols has time, got Adams, got a first down just beyond midfield.
J.C. Sherritt, old teammate of Matt Nichols, had a chance underneath. He was trying to help his corner and Solomon Means there to get underneath that, and was about just a step too late in getting there.
JC telling us yesterday, toughest loss of his pro career last week. Was anxious to get back out and look for redemption. Nichols looks for Adams again. Contact early from Marcel Young, and the flag flies.
Yep, there's no question about that one. Marcel Young made that contact coming down on that dig route across the middle to Adams.
Defensive pass interference, Edmonton number 23. Spot of the foul, first down.
Now LaPolice is moving Darvin Adams around. You usually see him into the short side of the field when the ball is on the hash marker, close to it like it is here. He's usually on the short side. On the previous play to this one, there's the contact just before the ball arrived. He was on the wide side of the field.
Waggles out of the backfield. They hand it off to Harris. Straight ahead. Slips through a tackle. And a first down run to the 20 as Andrew Harris continues to pile up the yardage. Finally dragged down by Elmondo Sewell, up to 124 on the day.
Well, and he made a real good tackler miss. Former outstanding player on defense in the league, and J.C. Sherrod, who we just mentioned, had him in the hole. Just slipped down, didn't keep his feet moving and driving underneath him. Andrew Harris got picked up another 10 yards after first contact from 47.
Fourth trip to the red zone, 1 for 3 so far. Nichols looking for Adams, touchdown! Got a step behind Patrick Watkins, and the Bombers respond with a touchdown.
Boy, Patrick Watkins having that kind of night. He's given Darvin Adams lots of room and lots of respect. Adams had caught a few outs in front of him. 4 or 5 catches in front of him. I showed you the big cushion that Patrick Watkins was giving to Darvin Adams. And then one time, Watkins says, okay, enough of that. I'm getting up in press, and Adams, nice shake at the line, inside release, and in behind the veteran corner.
Adams goes over 100 into the end zone. And now Medlock to try and make it a 17-point lead. Medlock's good. 27-10. 5 plays, 68 yards.
KK, Dar, got the ring side of my granny, man. Thanking God, my family can't town. Stand up, baby.
And the Auburn product has his 3rd touchdown catch of the year.
And this may be an automatic for Matt Nichols working with Darvin Adams. When he sees press coverage like this, he's going to try and just break off whatever they were going to do offensively and just go with this straight go route. But it was the move at the line of scrimmage by Adams that was the difference maker. Matt Nichols puts it up there over the top where he can get it and just run underneath it. But what a shake to get inside position and basically get Watkins chasing. Just couldn't make up that ground in time.
Nichols showing a little fire.
That was a big response after the Calvin McCarty touchdown. Something that has eluded the Bombers this season. The big drive when they need it, yeah.
Going to say taking a seat beside Weston Dressler, and he's the go-to guy now, isn't he?
That's my roommate, right?
Kenzel Doe from his 5. The Wisconsin Badger is forced out around the 25-yard line. Justin Cole downfield is part of that cover team. Mike Riley's got some work to do, but we only have to look back to last week to remind you that 17 points is very doable. Big game for the Eskimos, already their 4th home game of the season. 1-2 at home, and these are games that you want to get in the books. Walker has another catch, and that should be a first down beyond the 35-yard line. 8 grabs for Darrell Walker, who had 7 in his last meeting against Winnipeg.
This is really the Bomber defense, though, again, dictating kind of what Mike Riley's doing here. It's been the same in the last 3 or 4 series. Get them a couple of outs. They get a first down and a half, maybe first down or 2, and then they bog down, trying to go deep.
20 catches in the last 7 quarters for Walker. Riley stands in, throws, and Bowman can't make the catch. There's the kid at safety, Taylor Loeffler.
Quite the story, really. I mean, Vanier Cup champion with the UBC Thunderbirds. Went to Giants minicamp.
Played at Boise State as well.
And actually also played a little Aussie rules football in Australia for a couple of years. One thing that got him excited about the game of football in general.
2nd and 10. A catch, though, that Bowman usually makes. Look at White. A couple of terrific jump cuts there. And that play could be inspirational for Edmonton.
Couple of fancy moves here. I mean, you got him lined up. Nope. Whoop. Khalil Bass overran it. Check down for Riley, his only option. White does the heavy lifting.
20 there for John White, and Mike Riley takes off, and he'll run for a first down. Haven't seen as much of it this year, but Riley electing that now's the time.
It's infectious. Big play. Little second effort from the tailback. Now the quarterback takes off, puts it under his arms, take a hit to get another first down. Starts to build.
12 yards and a first down for Riley into Bombers' side of the field in scoring position. And Bowman's got another catch down inside the 30. And suddenly this Eskimo offense has some momentum. Going to tempo. John White, the 20-yard pickup. Riley 12, Bowman 12. Take the jet sweep, but Jamal Westerman says enough of that. Ian Wild cleans up, but Westerman will get his 3rd sack of the year.
Yeah, Westerman steps up here. Inside move. He's not even blocked or picked up at all. Goes in that B gap between the guard and the tackle.
May have to give Wild the sack. Let them fight over it. And this play doesn't get off.
Now, how many times have you seen that right after your quarterback gets hit from a stunt on that side of the field, the tackle on that side?
Procedure, Edmonton number 58.
Does
Your
that.
penalty remains 2nd down.
The tackle does that because he doesn't want to get his quarterback hit again, and he ends up jumping out of his stance.
Couple of times for Tony Washington tonight.
Promising drive just went sideways for number 13.
Right now it would be a 49-yard attempt for White. But Eskimos have a play to change that. Better protection. Dump it down White. And this time, not going to be able to escape. Ian Wild on the scene again.
No,
with first contact.
But field goal range.
Right. Got 11 to make this doable for Sean White. And this should be the final play of the 3rd quarter.
Unless you have something on when your holder is a backup quarterback in Jordan Lynch.
3rd and 11 would be bold, wouldn't it?
Very bold.
Get it to within 14 points.
No, take the points.
Sean White will do that, as he usually does. So 27-13 through 3 quarters as the Eskimo offense shows some life. What an impressive touchdown drive in the 3rd quarter, too, by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on a score by Darvin Adams. So after last week, we know no lead is safe, but there's the numbers through 45 minutes.
You see Darvin Adams is stepping up since Weston Dressler has gone out injured at the end of that first half. And, you know, the storyline coming in here was Matt Nichols getting his first start for the Bombers this season. I think he's delivered so far. Now the question is, can he finish?
You know, Nichols will get a lot of credit, but I think you made the point tonight. Andrew Harris has been better. The offensive line's been better. The defense has been better, not just at quarterback.
Yeah, without question. I mean, when you take a look at what this defense has done to Mike Riley, especially in the first half. Riley's got some things going in that third quarter, a couple of drives. And he looks at that iPad and tries to figure it out.
And off to Andrew Harris. Great first down production tonight, and about 6 more before he's taken down.
That has been a real big difference, that first down success and the best game of the year rushing the ball for Andrew Harris. In week 1, he led all tailbacks with 80 yards rushing. That was his best game before this one, but this one exceeds that in a big way.
Saw number 60, Travis Bond, with another big block. He's been a difference maker. 2nd and 4, quick hitter. Adams has got it. Number 4 gives Winnipeg a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, they're moving him around. This is the Darvin Adams show. Sometimes you see him. This is the wide side of the field because they're on this hash here, and that's the wide hash. So now they've moved him to that wide side and getting him work on the rookie Solomon Means.
9th catch of the night, 35th already this season for Darvin Adams. Now the pitch to Harris, and Odell Willis forces him back, and he'll get dropped by Eddie Steele.
Does that match up again, back to high school days?
Yeah. Steele gets the bragging rights on that play, but Odell Willis will get much of the credit.
Yeah, he turns it inside. Makes Andrew Harris go back to where the pursuit from the interior of that defensive line will track him down, and that's where Eddie Steele comes in.
Eddie played him in basketball too. Said Harris pretty good defensively. Eddie played a little center. Check it down, first catch of the night for Harris with a flag. And Andrew works his way up over the 50, still short of a first down, but let's check the flags.
Jamarcus Hardrick was working on Odell Willis.
And Odell helping Dave Foxcroft make the call.
Holding, Winnipeg number 61. 10-yard penalty, repeat, 2nd down.
That was Matthias Gosen in the middle, and he was working on Armando Sewell. I saw on the outside there, Willis looked like he was, well, maybe not on Hardrick. He got twisted down.
Well, 2nd and 25.
Take the penalty. They were short of the first down when getting the ball back. But it's a field position.
Playing field position and showing a little confidence that the defense can finish the series. See if Matt Nichols makes them pay. Gonna stretch it for Adams. Jump ball and incomplete. Knocked down by Tyler Thornton, who had a shot at an interception.
Well, you got to make that play, and that's the one that Jason Moss has been looking for since halftime last week against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Just that big play. I mean, Thornton has lots of room to run. This ball's thrown up for grabs, couple of defenders around it. Make that catch there. There's not many to tackle you all the way to the end zone.
Headlock punts it away. Not deep. Doe at his 42, bubbling back and losing yardage as Tony Burnett brought him down, and ball came loose, but Edmonton ends up on it. Eskimos trail by 14. CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. We're at the brick field at Commonwealth, 12:23 left. 4th quarter, Corey Watson went to the Eskimo dressing room, but he is back in the huddle and ready to go on this critical possession with the Eskimos down by a pair of touchdowns. Objectionable conduct penalty against Rory Collard improved the Eskimo field position. And Riley's got Darrell Walker again. They haven't been able to stop Walker in a couple of games this year. C.J. Roberts with the tackle.
That's the first play over 30 yards for the Edmonton offense in this game tonight. There's Darrell Walker. Gets some help from Corey Watson. If Corey Watson doesn't run as hard as he does down the middle here, then it doesn't open up that space for Darrell Walker underneath.
And Walker over 600 receiving yards on the season. Over 100 on the night again. John White takes the pitch to the 25, has 5. So 2nd and 5.
Mike Riley gets that much closer to another 300 yard passing game. He's got 7 straight, looking for number 8.
Late first half, he only had 64. Over the middle, Bowman's open, but he couldn't hang on. Took a hit, but he was bobbling it before that.
Yeah, and Loeffler separated from the football. This guy's got some potential at that free safety spot. The UBC product, if you double clutch it, the safety should be there to make sure you pay for that. Because that was as good a throw as you can get over the middle, right in the hands of number 4. He double clutched it, and that allowed Loeffler to put the hit on him.
6'4", 220, the number 12 pick in the draft this year. A real battle this week between him and Brendan Morgan to take that spot, and Loeffler's earned it. So White from 32 yards out. Wonder if the Eskimos were trying to draw somebody offside on 3rd and 5.
Time count violation, Edmonton, number 5. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
So they back up 5.
Well, they may have had something on there too, Chris, and then saw what Winnipeg did and bailed out of it.
More likely, yes. Yeah. A lot of options with Jordan Lynch, the holder. .37 yards out. White good again. An 11-point lead. 4.5 minutes into the 4th quarter here at Commonwealth. Just a reminder, coming up on CFL 30, Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern. And the highlight reel catches continue.
Oh my God. That's a touchdown. Oh, come on. Can't catch a break.
Hey, that's how you win the game, man.
That catch by Chad Owens on the 2-point convert was off the hook good. Kenny Ladler was watching himself for the wrong reasons in highlights all week there.
Heard Simone Lawrence telling Chad Owens, you're going to be on TSN all week. Bombers take over at their own 35 after the field goal. And pressure on, and Marcus Howard will drag him down. Second sack for Howard, 3rd for the Eskimos.
Mix things up and put Marcus Howard up at the top of your screen there. Where he had Odell Willis on the opposite side. Dion Lacey outside him at the Reals' true end position off the edge. They've been blocked up pretty well by Winnipeg until that play.
For 2nd and 19. Nichols had that one batted at the line. Big series for Howard, and Jason Moss said his defense didn't make any plays last week. They just did on that series to get the offense back onto the field in a hurry.
Former NFL pick for the Colts back in 2008. Had a quiet start to the season, but Mike Benavides gets a 2-and-out. He's looking for and grabs some momentum here. Should have good field position.
Eskimos without a big play return so far this season. In fact, the only team without one. Tumbling punt will bounce Down around the 35. 49-yard punt. And Doe is swarmed, not going to get a return here. But the Eskimos now with a chance to cut into this lead.
Those tough on the field deserve a truck that's tough on the road. The 2016 GMC Sierra.
Well, they let one get away last week. Can they flip the script and come from well back to steal this one?
Boy, and Riley wants his perfect record against Winnipeg intact. He's 6-0 as a starter against the Bombers.
36. Whoa. Well, that was unusual. Intended, I think, for Walker, but Darius Bowman made a play on the football. It was in the line of fire of both the dynamic duo.
Well, there's Walker outside, and here comes Bowman. They're both going to just sit down on these curls, and they're in sort of the same passing lane. And Bowman takes a, well, it's an out curl for Bowman and in curl for Walker. And Bowman looked at himself saying, yeah, that wasn't for me, was it?
Bowman on the waggle, 2nd and 10. Getzlaff the catch, and he'll be stopped short at the 45.
Well, that's going to be tempting for Jason Moss.
Still lots of time on the clock. And
well,
the
now
punt team comes on.
Sorry, Chris. Now with the spot, they brought it back before that 45-yard line. I thought the Getzlaff might have got to about halfway to the 46, which would have been real close. But no. Long yard, maybe a little over a yard.
Unless something's on. Casey Chin, the new long snapper, fires it right back to Grant Shaw. Good boot. Kevin Fogg pushed back to his 6. A 58-yard boot. Fogg does some dancing and can't get away.
Big.
Pulled down by Neil King, the Sherwood Park product. Bombers backed up after a big punt from Grant Shaw. Presented by The Brick, saving you more. And the plot thickens midway through the 4th quarter.
And that guy, veteran player in the league, knows exactly what's on the line here. He needs a couple of first downs. It's okay if they punt, the Bombers, but he needs to get out of this hole.
Need a couple of first downs and take some time off the clock. Starting at their own 7. And there's a big play to start. Huge catch by Rory Collard. Gives the Bomber offense some breathing room.
Well, they move Rory Collard inside to that slot back spot and just get a little inside leverage on Marcel Young, who's trying to get up there and play aggressively, but nice move to get Young to bounce to his outside shoulder, and that allows him to get that throwing lane right down the middle.
13 for Collard. Nichols at 289 on the game. First and 10, and they'll swing it to Collard. Trying to get a block, but no dice. That's a good play by Tyler Thornton. Lateral pass considered a running play, and a loss of 3 on the play.
The Eskimos are coming back in this one. This is the down that'll get them there, get them started. 2nd and real long. To Darvin Adams time. He's to the wide side of the field.
Again, no Dressler, no McDuffie. Nichols backpedaling, pressure coming, and he'll take off and slide back at the original line of scrimmage, and the punt team will have to come on.
Like Matt Nichols wanted to set up the backside screen here. He wants to set this up. Go ahead and run it. It looked like a screen pass. He has Darvin Adams to wide side. Stop it there. You see these linemen coming out? That's setting up a screen, but his receiver got lost. Went down.
Yeah, Jace Davis. So now Medlock against a light breeze with Doe waiting at midfield. Doe takes the 38-yard punt, and there'll be a no yards penalty. They got within the 5-yard restraining area. So Mike Riley and company, great field position upcoming as he tries to keep some streaks alive in his quest to come back tonight.
Well, the most important thing for Mike Riley is to get a winning streak going, and it starts with the first one after the loss to Hamilton last week. So he's got a lot of work to do in that regard, but yeah, that's pretty cool list there. Former teammate of mine on it, Kent Austin.
34 yards away from yet another. Over the middle for Walker, incomplete. Flags are flying.
Got isolated on the linebacker Khalil Bass, and on that inside route, looks like Bass kind of grabs his jersey. Like it was all that much to me initially, but let's take a look at the replay. A little jab step there, the grab of the jersey there.
Pass interference, Winnipeg number 2.
And the difference
10-yard
is
penalty, automatic first down.
The difference, it twisted Darrell Walker's hips as the ball was arriving. You can have your hand on him, you just can't twist him.
So the Bombers over 100 penalty yards in the game. First down, John White. Big collision there, and Bass and Wild were waiting for him. That'll set up second in a passing situation. Couple for John White. Eskimos reset. 5 receivers. White now releases. Looking for Walker. It's picked off. Terrence Frederick, the newcomer. First game. Huge play. White stops him, but Terrence Frederick puts out the fire.
Terrence Frederick never gets out of his back pedal here. Textbook coverage on Darrell Walker on the outside. He's seen this route a couple of times in this game tonight. They move Walker inside, closer to the formation on the wide side of that field. And now it didn't look like Mike Riley could fully follow through on that because of the pressure, but up on the top of your screen here, the out is a little bit rounded by Darrell Walker. But what a play by the rookie, Terrence Frederick.
Brings it back 43 yards. Bombers now lead the CFL in takeaways with their 14th. Wide side, and Collard hangs on. Contact from Cord Parks. But Collard has the catch at the 42.
Well, Terrence Frederick, he's a rookie here, and he sits on this route. Now, it's not real sharp. It more rounds out by Darrell Walker here, and that doesn't force him to turn his hips, but you can see he's nice and square and can make that aggressive move underneath. Game on the line, you're back to your goal line. Most rookies back up and give up lots of room. Terrence Frederick played aggressively. In for Chris Randall.
Second and short, and Andrew Harris crashing down close to the first down. Let's see where they spot it. Had to get to the 39. And we hit the 3-minute warning here. Looks like it's going to be third down Bombers. But Terrence Fredericks made the play of the second half. An 11-point Bomber lead. Suits of all the games, of all the finishes, this the most unlikely. The last time the Bombers won a game here in Edmonton was pre-HD.
That's a long time ago when it was before HD televisions.
Had to be a long time ago. Stiegel was in the lineup.
Stiegel was still.
What a remarkable finish that was. 2006. Mike O'Shea has not won here as a head coach. 3rd and a yard, and he leaves the offense out. Another big play, and a good lunge there by Nichols, who should have it. Guys, we're talking about don't get passive, and Mike O'Shea not passive here, and is going to get rewarded with a first down and a chance to take a lot more time off the clock.
Yeah, that play was made. The game basically bottled up. I know no lead is safe in the CFL, but the Terrence Frederick interception with Mike Riley threatening to make it a one-possession game. But hey, full credit to Matt Nichols. A lot of talk about the change, quarterback. Michael O'Shea saying it was really more to shake things up than anything. Wasn't about Drew Willie necessarily.
Hand off to Harris, nothing doing. He thought he had the Eskimos beat last year in Winnipeg in his first meeting against his old team.
Edmonton.
Eskimos stopped the clock. Then Sean White kicked a 53-yard field goal against the wind after the Bombers had missed a number of field goals in the game. And Sean White breaks the Bombers' hearts with that one.
Couldn't believe it. Thought he had the game won there as the starter for Winnipeg.
The way the score lines up right now, White would like to get a chance to kick a game-tying field goal after a touchdown and a two-point convert, but Edmonton doesn't have the football. Darvin Adams does, and Adams down to the 30. Does he fumble the football? Be short of the first down, but who's got it? Looks like Winnipeg gets it back, and now does the field goal team come on?
Best game tonight, too, by that O-line, and had to make some changes there. Travis Bond, we showed you some highlights of him early in this game. I thought he made an impact coming in, big man, opening some holes for Andrew Harris.
That catch and run by Darvin Adams puts Matt Nichols over 300 in the game. And now Medlock trying for his 5th field goal to make it a 2-touchdown lead. It says 3rd and 1. It's about 3rd and a yard and a half to 2. And Medlock puts it through. So 104 seconds to go, 14-point lead. And we remind you the World Junior Summer Showcase gets underway on Wednesday. Canada against Finland. Catch it at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, across the TSN network. You didn't know it was hockey season.
Isn't it always?
Adams getting attention on the sidelines already without Dressler and McDuffie.
Yeah, it looked like he fumbled this ball right at the end of the play here and was a little banged up. You see it did come out. And then went and grabbed that left shoulder.
So the Bomber receiving corps taking quite a hit. How about the Saskatchewan Roughrider offensive line tomorrow? We have 3 or 4 guys out going into the game against Montreal. Again, Ben Cahoon, Knight in Montreal tomorrow. Our congratulations to one of our favorites over the years watching.
Who made one of the great catches of all time in Saskatchewan in the Grey Cup.
Made another one in Saskatchewan I can think of the side of his helmet.
That's right.
There's a bunch. Here's Doe with a head of steam, and then stop sign gets put up around the 30-yard line. Sam Hurl down in a hurry as he's back in the Bomber special teams group. So 2 touchdowns down. Mike Riley's got to make something happen in a hurry.
Well, and the game plan for the Bombers defensively has been executed very, very well. Not allow the big play. Don't allow Bowman to go get in behind you or Darrell Walker to get in behind you.
Pressure on. Riley to the sidelines and broken up by C.J. Roberts. Intended for Natea J.
The other thing is, I think the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and this is obviously a small sample size. It's basically one game and one start, but Taylor Loeffler looks like he can be a starting free safety in this league.
Again, without Macho Harris, Julian Posey, Chris Randall. 3-man rush. 2nd and 10. Catch is made by Walker. Stayed in bounds. Got a first down up at the 48. But the clock's going to run.
A couple of halfbacks now. The veteran Bruce Johnson and I think Kevin Fogg has, again, been their best defensive back and most consistent. So all of a sudden, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they play a good game defensively. Don't allow Darrell Walker and Darius Bowman to have a big night.
18 for Walker. Now Walker again the target. Coverage is good. It's incomplete.
And then Terrence Frederick with the big play when it looked like Mike Riley had time and good field position to maybe mount a comeback here. And Terrence Frederick takes it the other way. So full credit to that Bomber defense.
Bombers trying to win their first against a Western opponent. And they're second on the road. Pressure on. They swing it to White. And White upended around midfield. Is going to set up 3rd down and 3. 7 more for Riley at 291. But they need a first down for him to have a chance at another 300-yard game. And again, that's furthest from number 13's mind right now. A jump looked like they were offside. Screen thrown. White breaks the tackle to get a first down. And steps out around the 42-yard line. Bombers appeared to be offside, so it looks like Edmonton's drive will continue.
Yeah, they'll decline that penalty and take the gain.
With help from the video official, there is no flag on the play. First down, Edmonton.
Okay, and how many yards was that throw for Mike Riley? Enough to get him over 300.
8th consecutive game, so one shy of the CFL record, co-held by Sam Etcheverry and Ken Austin. Last time anybody did it, 91. Riley throws, Getzlaff catches, and the Eskimos aren't done. First down at the 17.
Get in the end zone right now. Go for 2, go onside.
Clock running. 24 yards to Getzlaff. Riley looking into the end zone, and he overshoots. Darrell Walker looked like he had a step.
And that took off about 12 seconds, it looked like, off the clock.
28 seconds remaining. Just a second red zone appearance for the Eskimos tonight. Mike Riley without a touchdown pass in the game. He has a 10-game touchdown streak on the line. Looking for Bowman. Got it down around the 2-yard line.
Had to come back to get it, or else that would have been the touchdown throw for Riley. He ran his route right on the goal line. Now that Bomber defense giving him more room at this point, but
still 4 plays away. They need a touchdown, a 2-point convert, a successful short kick, and then to get into field goal range, and that's a lot to happen with not much time on the clock.
Like they went Jason Moss might want to ask for a few more
Timer,
seconds.
please put 22 seconds on the game clock.
So they'll reset the clock, and the Eskimos lined up to try and make sure they don't use much of it. Fade, Walker, touchdown. Well, there's one. Is a flag on the play. Couple flags, in fact.
Yeah, one in the end zone, one back where Mike Riley throws the ball from. Ian Wild, high hit to the face mask. That'll be roughing the passer. Not sure if Darrell Walker was interfered with or...
That could be significant in where they will try the short kick.
Well, last week, Jason Moss said they needed one play. They needed their team to make one play, and they didn't get it done against Hamilton as they came back. Now they need a couple more.
So they won't go for two. They'll just attempt the convert to get within a converted touchdown.
Defensive pass interference, Winnipeg number 17. That penalty's declined. Roughing the passer, Winnipeg number 38. That 15-yard penalty will be applied on the kickoff.
So if they recover that short kick, they'll likely be in Shaun White range. Oh, excuse me, they touched that away. So,
yeah, absolutely. But you get into that shorter
field.
They make the onside to get the 15 yards. Now you try the onside kick. If Edmonton can recover that, Riley technically can throw the ball to the end zone. Exactly.
So the hands teams get ready to come on.
Couple of different approaches.